everyone. How are we all doing on this lovely little Tuesday that we have going? If you aren't familiar with who I am, if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Lauren Dragon Cook. I am the founder, the host, the whatever you want to call me, of Wedding Boss Life and of this Facebook group. So I am so thankful for those of you that are tuning in live and those that are going to be watching the replay. It means the world to me that you guys want to spend time with me, spend precious time out of your busy days with me. Today we are going to be talking about goal setting and goals and what does that even mean for people. I talk to a lot of people during the course of a day, and I'm finding that more and more people want to be setting goals, and yet they have no idea where to even start with it, right? It's kind of like one of those things, like, I know I want to have this dream house, but how do I get there? So I'm going to help you guys connect some of the dots today in figuring all that out. So good morning, Marlene. Hello. Yay. Awesome. Okay. So without further ado, I won't keep you guys I won't keep you waiting much longer. We'll dive in here in a second. But really quickly, how many of us that are watching the live and the replay, good morning, Karen, struggle with just not so much like figuring out what you want, but how to get there? If that's something that, you yourself struggle with, then, leave something in the comments. Leave a 1 in the comments. I'd love to see the people that are like me before I kind of figured it all out. So please leave a 1, like I said, if you struggle from getting from point A to point B when it comes to goal setting. I'd love to see. All right, just taking a sip of water and let's get going. Preach it, me. Oh my God, I love you guys. Okay, so let's get crack-a-lackin', shall we? Okay, good. So first things first, one thing that I think most educators, most thought leaders, most gurus, whatever, that if you've ever watched a webinar on goal setting, or maybe you've taken a course, or listened to a podcast or what have you, it doesn't matter what it is. What most people fail to realize is the fact that goal setting and intention setting and manifesting and aspiring, all of those things are one and the same, right? It's just a matter of kind of where you're at in your life and how you look at the world, how you look at things, right? Before I kind of started my woo-woo journey, I would have only said goal setting. I would have only said, these are my goals. This is my, bucket list. This is my dream, Good morning, Tiffany. Hi, honey. So, those are, that's one way to look at it. But now that I've, been kind of down this path for the last, 6 years or so, I've come to realize that it's all the same thing. Like, goal setting is the same thing as manifesting, as, creating a dream board. It's all one and the same. It's just a matter of how you approach it, right? So I'm going to do something that I guess not every business leader or, business owner does. And I'm going to incorporate a little bit of how I myself set my own goals and how I've been able to attain them and what it looks like to kind of, manifest, really. For those of you who don't know and are ready to, kind of see what that's all about, or, how many of you have heard of the word manifesting or manifest or manifestation, or, you see these spiritual gurus and you're like, what the fuck are they talking about, right? How many of you have heard of that word or tried it yourself, or maybe you're, starting down that path? That's fantastic if you are. The power of manifesting is real, guys. Like, it's legit. So really quick story just to kind of, before I dive in. I've told some of you this story that are watching the live. I'm not sure who else will be watching, so here you go. My MacBook that I've had for ever since Liam was born, so 6.5 years, almost 7 years, literally was about to self-combust over the winter. The fan was gone in it, like I did not feel comfortable leaving it on and like unsupervised. It's almost like a freaking child, unsupervised without me being in the room, because literally it was going to blow up. So I knew I needed a new one, right? And if you know me at all well enough to know I don't do anything half-ass. I'm all in or not at all. And it's kind of the same way when I make a purchase. If I'm going to buy, a MacBook, I want to make sure it's the one that I want, right? I'm not just going to buy something just because. I want to make sure it's, has what I need and has what I want. So I was saving up $2,000 essentially for a new MacBook, and I can't remember how much I was short. It was like $450 or something like that, short. Okay. And so when you really start to tune into this whole manifesting thing, and you start to like dig in and dive in and really see what it's all about, the power of it is honestly effing insane. So I was like, no, you know what? I'm in no hurry, but by the end of the week, I'm going to have what I need and I'm going to buy that MacBook, right? So I just kind of went about my business. I set that intention. Basically, what that means is I literally just had it in my head. Like, I'll have the MacBook by the end of the week. Like, that's it. I didn't write it down. I mean, you can. I didn't write it down. I just kind of put it out there, right? So because I felt it so strongly, it wasn't just like a desire. It wasn't just like a wish. It was like, no, like, it's coming. Like, it's already on its way kind of deal. I went out to the mailbox probably middle of the week. Actually, I think it was Wednesday. Went out to the mailbox and I have a check. How many of you know this story? This is like one of my craziest stories. It's like one of those things. It's like, how the hell did this happen to me? Right? Like, those stories, you're like, no, that didn't happen. Yeah, no, it did. I went out to the mailbox and a check is in there. And it is from State Farm from 2011. It is for $287 because we had overpaid back in 2011. Guys, I shit you not. Like, I shit you not. And so I'm like, oh, okay. All right. All right. Thank you. Like, just a big old thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you. And so I continue to go about my day. Well, later that night, I remember hopping on Dubsado, and I am an affiliate with Dubsado, but it's not because of the money. It's because of how much I love Dubsado and the company and the service that they offer and all of that stuff. Well, I hadn't checked my affiliate earnings ever, because I just didn't care, right? I went on there, guys, and that night, I'm not even kidding you, I had $405 in my affiliate, this pool, whatever you want to call it. Okay? Same day, on a Wednesday, I had said, by the end of the week, I'm going to have this computer. Okay? And like I said, I was like $450 short. So I even had extra on top of that. Like, what? That's insane. It's still crazy to me. It's still crazy to me. And I have my MacBook. It's somewhere. I don't even know where it is, but it's somewhere. And Brianne, that happened to you this week? Oh my gosh. I want to hear about it. Drop it in the comments. I want to hear what happened. So that's the power, though, guys, of manifesting. That's the power of setting intentions. That's the power of goal setting, whatever you want to call it. If you believe it wholeheartedly and you are aligned with where you're supposed to be, like what you're supposed to be doing in this life, if you are in it to win it, basically, then it will happen. It's when you start to have doubt. It's when that doubt creeps in. It's when you start doing a little bit of self-sabotage talking that it doesn't happen, right? And we sometimes don't even realize that we're doing it because it's just it's how we were born. It's how we were raised in this society, in this culture. It's just it's part of who we are. But if you are able to kind of learn how to separate it and leave it to the curb, I promise you that some crazy stuff can start to happen. So I'm going to show you how I personally set my own goals and intentions. So first things first, like I said, it is a combination of how you think about things, how you react to things, but also the law of attraction. I mean, really, if you want to get, technical. But first you have to set your intention. You have to set your goal. And I'm sure some of you have heard of the what's it called? Acronym. Is that the word? SMART, a SMART goal. It's specific, it's measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely, like a timely manner. And so setting a goal for yourself. And what can goals look like? Well, there are many different categories that you can set goals for yourself, right? You can set a goal for yourself with financial, stuff, with saving money. You can have goals with, your health, your diet, your business, your family. You can have these different goals, but you have to kind of separate them, because what you can do to yourself, it's almost like self-sabotage. If you start to see all of these goals that you have for yourself, but they're not kind of dispersed into all their like proper categories, it can get overwhelming. And you're like, oh my God, I can't do any of it. Like, how many people, leave a heart emoji or the heart, push the heart button. And if that's like you, because it's like me, that's what I do. I'm like, oh my God, way too much shit. I can't. Like, that's just how I am. And so it is, it's one of those things where take it step by step, right? Take it step by step. And sometimes that's annoying to hear, right? You're like, no, I just want the end result. I just want to, whatever it is I want. And half the time though, you receive gifts. The universe is giving you gifts along the way, along the path. And if you are so, like, not blindsided, not tunnel vision, but just like so set on, the end result, you're going to miss all that stuff along the way, right? What is it? Like, happiness comes from the journey, not the destination, or something like that, right? I'm terrible with these things. I do one every single live, and then I have to have everyone tune in and be like, no, Lauren, you are absolutely wrong. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I digress. So the journey is part of the goal setting process. And so what I would encourage you to do, like I said, is kind of write down all of the goals that you have for yourself initially, right? Anything that comes to mind, anything. I want to be debt free. I want to be able to pay my bills on time. I want to have 25 clients each season. I want, throw some goals out at me, guys. What are some goals? Because I want to literally break it down for you, how to attain it in actionable steps right here on this live. That's what you get as a gift from, joining me live, to show you I appreciate. What are some goals that you guys have? Drop them in the comments below. But I'm going to keep going, but I want to see those goals. So once you've written them all down, it is really important to be realistic with how long it's going to take you. And here's the thing. If you say, oh, it'll happen in 10 years for every single goal you have, you're never going to accomplish anything, right? So you have to really push yourself, but still be realistic enough with the goal setting that you have. If you were to say, I want to have 25 clients by the end of the season, and, here we are 2 months in, so that leaves us what, 1, 2, 3, 4 months? I mean, okay, let's see then. How many would you need to have? Let's say you have 0 on your calendar and you want to have 25. Well, that would average out to what? Like 6.25 clients a month. Okay, well, how are you going to get those 6.25? We will chop that person in quarters. That's so creepy. I'm kidding. It's just a matter of really breaking it down. But the other piece of it that people don't often talk about is, really looking at the end result as if it's already happened. Okay? You have to live it. You have to breathe it. It has to be part of your daily life. It has to be something that you go about and you literally are thinking to yourself, oh, yeah, well, no, I'm already debt free. Like I'm grateful, I'm debt free, and this is where affirmations can come into play. So, guys, hop on Pinterest and look for affirmations that correspond to whatever goal, that you have for yourself. Because what happens is when you start to combine strategy and the law of attraction, magic happens, right? And that is literally like the heart of Wedding Boss life. I combine the strategy with woo-woo to really enhance and emphasize, your success. And so I'm telling you, this works. Like, I'm not just like preaching the gospel. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm telling you from experience, it works. So once you can kind of write down all the things and add your bucket list stuff to it. Like add the things that you've always wanted to do. For me, some things that I have always wanted to do, go to Hawaii. Like that's on my bucket list. I want to have a ride in a hot air balloon. I want to, before I die, have dreadlocks. I know. These are different things that are on my bucket list, but for me, they're more like, it's not necessarily a goal. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just fun stuff that I want to happen, but I'm still kind of putting it out there. Does that make sense? Okay. So once you've written it down, you need to start really figuring out how long do I want, how short of a time frame do I want this to happen? Do I want it to happen next month? Do I want it to happen 6 months, in a year? Once you figure that out and you put them in their own little categories, that's when you can start to really see the progress and work towards the goals, because you're able to have, weekly or daily tasks that you're doing to work towards those goals. And another big part of that, though, is really, truly, like I said, visualizing that you've already done it. Like just your whole being, like just visualizing that it's already happened. And yeah, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. So once you have, done all of those things, then that is when you start to measure your success. That's when you really start to watch the growth. You start to maybe sometimes, shift your goal a little bit. Sometimes your goal can change. Sometimes you think that you wanted something, but in reality, it really wasn't that at all. It was something entirely different. But you learn that along the journey, right? So yeah, those are just some like quick little ditties that I wanted to give you guys when it comes to goal setting. But there are so many freaking worksheets out there, guys, and stuff on Pinterest, and endless spreadsheets, endless stuff to help you set these goals. But like I said in the very beginning of this episode, of this live, most people don't talk about combining the two. right? It's combining the actual strategies, the stuff that will make it happen, by working at it, but then the mindset piece, right? You can't just create a goal and chug along, chug along, chug along. Yeah, eventually you'll get there, but it can happen much faster if you really allow the other half of it, the other side of things to play a role, right? Is this resonating for any of you? Does this make sense for any of you that are watching the live? I just want to make sure I'm not like completely off my rocker on what I'm talking about. Tiffany needed this today. Oh, yay! Oh, good. Yay, Tiffany, I'm glad it helped. I just, half the time, I know I've said this before, but half the time, I come up with these ideas for episodes or for lives, and it makes sense to me, and it's kind of what I feel like you guys may need, but then sometimes I feel like it can fall on deaf ears, right? And that's okay, because sometimes, the message doesn't need to be heard right then. It needs to be heard later on, right? So guys that are watching the live and the replay, I will even do this for you for the replay. I'm just going to throw my hair up because this light that I have going on here, holy mother, it is making things a little toasty up in here. So yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to read some of the comments really quickly. Jennifer, same, I've been asking for help, and then videos like this pop up. Thank you. Woohoo! Yay! That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy to hear. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Jennifer. Brianne, absolutely makes perfect sense. Good. Okay. Because what I tend to do too during a live episode on here is I'll be looking at my EatCam app, and I can see how many people are viewing at once. And so, we'll have like 20, 25, 30 people watching or something, and then it just all of a sudden drops. And I'm like, okay, sorry. For whatever I said, I'm so sorry. So guys, what is one goal? Like, there are no goals that are too crazy. There's nothing out there that is like too insane. I want to help you kind of break it down. I want to really, because sometimes you just need a friend, right? Sometimes you just need someone to be like, this is what you need to do. They're not going to tell you what your goal is, but they're going to help you figure out how to go about it, right? So guys, like I said, feel free to write it in the comments what you have for some goals. I'm just thinking, just kind of sitting with it for a second. Yeah, so some categories to kind of get your wheels turning, like I said, are, exercise, your health, maybe saving money, just financial stuff, your business. What goals do you have for your business? What goals do you have for your family, for your partner, for your kids? What goals do you have? Are there projects that you wanted to get done in your house? And here it is, the middle of wedding season for most of us. What do those projects look like? Make sure that you still write those down, because how many of you are guilty that, you have this honey to-do list or whatever, and then you forget what half the stuff was that you needed to do, but it was really good at the time, right? Oh my gosh. It's some stuff like, yeah, painting the deck has been one of mine. It's taken 2.5 years for us to almost finish painting the deck. It's come in segments. But maybe another one could be like your spiritual journey. Like, maybe you want to start looking into, manifesting and affirmations and stuff like that. Set goals for yourself with that, guys. Those are some different categories just to get your wheels turning. So Brianne, big time goal. I want to retire my parents. Oh my God, that is so good. Such a good goal. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, so if you want to retire your parents, Brianne, let's break it down a little bit. First, you would need to know what they're kind of living off of now, right? You would need to know what they're making a year now. And if that is comfortable for them, if they need, if they want to be making more than that to feel comfortable, if they, are content, whatever. But then you got to really break it down. Okay, great. You have to live. You have to survive. So that means you would be carrying yourself, with your business, but you'd also be carrying them. So you have to combine those two areas of income, right? You need to figure out how much you need as well. Then you just start to break it down, girl. Like, okay, how much do I charge per wedding? How much do I charge per shoot? Okay, how many shoots would I need to do in a year in order to make, that happen? But taxes play a role too. So it's really just a matter of, again, like I said, it can seem so daunting, right? It can seem so daunting when we set goals like that for ourselves. But really, if you start to realize, okay, I only need to do X number of weddings and X number of shoots a year. All right, well, how am I going to get those shoots? How am I going to get those weddings? How am I going to get those clients? And that's where you start to really break it down to daily tasks, right? So it's kind of all like one big, circle, I guess. I don't know. But really checking in with yourself too to see if you're on track. So knowing like, okay, well, I should have made X, this month. I should have made X last month. I'm not even close. Okay, that's all right. Sometimes you just need to have faith that the month after will be better, and you'll make up for those 2 other months or something like that. So just be prepared and flexible, to see the shifts and to see, the different levels of growth and whatnot. But yeah, is there anything else? Like, do you guys have anything? Do you want to pick my brain about, like, another thing I manifested, like perfect example of the power. Another thing I manifested, it's kind of silly now looking at it, but it's really not. It's really not. I shouldn't say that. I wanted to have 1,000 people in my group, in our Facebook community, by the middle of the year. And here we are, and it's June 19th, and we are at 894 members. So I'm pretty close, right? Pretty close. Numbers don't necessarily matter to me when it comes to followers and likes and stuff like that, but it was just a measurable goal for myself, right? It was just a measurable goal. If I were to say, like, I want to help all the people in the world and I want them in our group, okay, good luck with that. No, I just wanted to have a measurable goal. Yeah. So let me see. I'm just going to hop on, refresh, and look at the comments really quickly, make sure I didn't miss anything from any of you guys. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Anything else, guys? Anything that resonated with you when I was speaking? Anything that you are wondering about, maybe with manifesting or like that side of things? I'm always here to answer all those questions. I'm always here for you to pick my brain, but I always like to try to answer them during the episode. But enough of that. I said that I was going to really start to try to keep these to 30 minutes. And guess what I did? Woohoo! Another goal. Yay! Oh my God, I'm such a dork. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for those of you tuning in live and for those of you who are going to be catching the replay. As always, if you have any questions with anything, or maybe you just are stuck with a goal that you have, maybe you just are like, I don't know, like, how do I do blah, 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 blah. I have no clue. I'm happy to help you with that. Put it in the group, get some feedback from other people. That's what this group is for. So yeah, if you guys want to help me reach one of my goals, invite all your buddies, invite your friends to the group. Let's get to 1,000. Oh my God. What if we got to 1,000 people by the end of the day? Holy shit. Oh my gosh. I would throw a party. I would have a dance party. We would have to have like a celebratory dance party. I would pick a day. We would all get off work early and we would all just drink and dance. I don't even know. I don't know. That just came. I don't really know. So anyway, I digress. much love to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the week, and I will be seeing you next week, next Tuesday. We are going to be chatting with Miss Brienne. She is a photographer, a fabulous photographer, but she's going to talk to you guys a little bit about what her journey has looked like when it comes to shifting stuff and what it looks like to kind of work with me one-on-one, and the changes that she's experienced, and all of that stuff. So Brienne, you are making it a podcast, right? Yes, this is totally going to be an episode. They always are. They're always. So once the live is over, the replays can always be found within the group, on the website, under podcast, and on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, wherever you like to listen to your podcasts. You can always find them there. So without further ado, much love to you all. Thank you for joining me live and on the replay, and we will be seeing you next week. Bye.